Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. Happy Monday. Today's Monday, April 18th. Super excited to have this incredibly talented, prolific artist on the show today. It's Harvey Summers. He's coming all the way from merry old England, and he is going to share his journey. He's got a fantastic musical journey, a life journey, and then at the end, we're going to see the video for his latest single, which I think they still call them singles. Hey, Harvey,
As
welcome
far
to
as I
the
know.
show.
Hi, Ted. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here with you.
I'm very excited to have. When I read your bio, I just was continue to go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You have a lot on your bio. But so let's talk about it. The audience loves the journey story. They love to know how you got to where you are, and so give them a little 411 on your background.
Sure. Well, way back at the dawn of time, several decades ago, um, I was, I guess I was always going to find music in one way or another because I had a musical family growing up. My grandfather, my uncle, my mum all played in a country and western band, and they used to take me out to gigs with them and dress
A
me up and
country and western band.
oh yeah, yeah. This would be late '70s, and yeah. So I used to tag along and have my little guitar on stage, which they never plugged in, which kind of bothered me. But I couldn't play it, so that was fine. But yeah, and even when I was really small, when I was kind of a toddler, it was all my family could do to keep me away from plug sockets and anything with switches and controls. I was just sort of obsessive about, and my mum was always finding things I'd dismantled under my bed. I wanted to know how they worked, what was inside. Um, and so I guess I was about 11 or 12 when I actually started wanting to make music and play something. I remember being taken to a music shop when I was really young and being left on the floor with this tiny little synthesizer, a Wasp, an EDP Wasp it was called. And that was me. I was just fascinated with that, you know. So yeah, I started doing my own thing. I always wanted to sort of make my own music rather than learn other people's songs, which was kind of the thing everyone did then. It's how a lot of people get started, and of course that's cool. But
Did you
yeah,
have a writing talent? Did you write music early on? Did you was it
mm,
something that you kind of turned poetry into music? A lot of younger people who get into music realize that what their lyrics are can be a song.
sure. See, for me, it was music more than lyrics, and I guess I started making music using like little bits and pieces of keyboards that I had at home, and then my school decided to invest in an Atari computer, which was the latest thing back then. No one knew what this thing was or how to use it or whatever, but I sort of found it interesting, and I had it connected up to a keyboard, and I kind of took to it, and I found that I could record a sound and put another one on top and build up an arrangement, and it just felt really natural, and I liked it. The teachers used to be brilliant. They'd let me do this all day long. I'd skive off other lessons and be there in my lunch break, getting away with it. But eventually they asked me to do some music for a school play. They were doing the Tempest. So I wrote some music for that, and that was kind of it for me. Once I found putting music to something visual, that's all I wanted to do.
And that's your so that was one of the things I read your career. There's the whole couple lines in there about the movie industry and the things, the amazing entertainment groups that you've worked with. When you're transitioning from a kid who has a passion into an adult, and you're going to make that passion your life's work, was it
Mm.
difficult? Did you ever go, okay, I want this as a backup just in case? What was that transition like for you as an artist?
It's interesting because I think when you're young, you're invincible and you can do anything. So there's no, you can't do this. This isn't a sensible career, which it isn't. It's never easy. Always hard. You're always sort of just about managing, but that's kind of part of it. The struggling artist cliche is kind of true, and you need a bit of that. You need to, I think, have to fight for it a little bit. Um, so when I left school, my sights were not on college or education because what interested me most at the time, there wasn't really anything available there was A-level music, and that was kind of it. These days, there's fantastic courses of music technology, film, all kinds of things. So I got myself a little part-time job, bought some equipment, set about making my first record, and somewhere around that time, I managed to get to do the soundtrack for one of these Doctor Who spin-offs, which was the first time I'd done anything for film, and yeah, absolutely loved that. And things just kind of kept going, and then I eventually built my own studio, which was meant for me to do my own work in. But I kind of got a reputation. People came to me for recording and producing, and that became the day job eventually. And that's been my life ever since.
I think it's fascinating because the music background. It's not background music. It's part of the soundtrack. That can help really deliver the message of the movie. So when you mentioned that, you loved seeing your music put to film, put to something in motion, I got it, because there are times when I can watch a movie or I can hear a song and I know it's from a movie, and then you go right back to that emotion that you felt. Or I can hear a piece of music on TV, I'm like, oh my God, I remember that from such and such movie. And so that emotional attachment is so strong. Do you perform, Harvey? Do you go out? Is your stuff mostly in your beautiful studio, which I believe looks like a real picture to me? They're pretty close. Or do you go out and perform as well?
Yeah, I used to do lots and lots of playing with friends and in friends' bands, and doing the whole gigging thing. But these days, I've become very much focused on doing things more in the studio, because I like to experiment with sound and creating atmospheres and an environment for music to live in. So I do plan to do some live performances soon, but with this stuff, I haven't done just yet.
Well, I also love the fact that your journey just continues to progress. You obviously are an artist through and through. And what's great about that is the creatives, I feel like, had to make a decision when COVID hit. And I want to ask you about that. If you were mostly in the studio, did you get as impacted by artists that go out and perform, that did a lot of live work, or how did that impact you? How did COVID impact your creativity?
Yeah, actually, it was quite a big deal, because up until that point, I'd been working really, really hard, and I ran a studio where we were recording bands, producing bands, all sorts of things like that, and people had come in from all over the place. And of course, COVID happens and lockdown, so no one can come and do that. And in the early part of it, we hadn't worked out how to do socially distanced recording and all of that stuff. So I had to close the studio for a while. And during that period, I set this room up at home, which has worked really well. And it was kind of at a time when we're planning to move later this year to Scotland. And I was kind of wanting to put the focus back more on telling stories and creating my own music. So it all kind of came together, and I built this place during the beginning of lockdown and got the idea that actually I've got some time here. Maybe I could get back to what I always wanted to be doing, and that's when I started working on the record. So yeah, COVID actually was a kind of mixed blessing in a weird way, because it did give me the space to do something which I probably wouldn't have made for myself so easily otherwise.
I think a lot of people, it forced the envelope. It forced you to go, all right, well, I've got this time on my hands. All those times I've been saying all along, well, if I just had time. Well, now you've got the time. And there were people who really thrived and grew and expanded during that time, because they utilized it like you. All right, so we have a video. Give us a little bit of a breakdown on it, and then I'll pull it up while you're speaking, and then or after you speak, and then we'll play it.
Great. Well, this is the first single that has been released from the album. The album's called Moon, and it's kind of telling the story of the Apollo 11 astronauts, and I missed that by a few years. I was born after all of that, but it's just such a fascinating story, and it always made me think, how must that have felt to those guys to be the first person from the planet Earth to not only travel that far, but to turn around and look back and see the Earth.
Yes.
And we hear about every aspect of the mission, and I just wanted to really think about how awesome that must have been.
Yes.
And it's a humongous journey, and every journey starts in the same place, which is kind of the imagination. Someone has this wild idea, and crazy fantasies become science reality eventually. So the first track, Dreams of Another Sky, is kind of about that imagination aspect, and so the video kind of reflects that. It's more fantasy
Beautiful.
than reality.
All right, so I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to make it front and center, and let's do it.
Here we go.
Wow. I mean, that you first of all, you have tons of love, but I didn't want to post it while the video was playing. Um, Immediately I get relaxed, first of all, but then
Cool.
I just feel like it was so beautiful. I was mesmerized the entire time, Harvey. That's the
Ah,
truth. I take myself off of these, well, in most instances, just in case it's bad or you're bad, because my face would not be able to hide that. I was mesmerized the whole time. It was absolutely
ah, thank
beautiful.
you.
You have lots of love here. I'll share a few. Wow, love it. Um, those analog synth sounds, man.
Yeah,
Stunning, transportive. What a great word, transportive.
that's
That's what I
wonderful.
felt the entire time. So completely enthralled, mesmerized.
Thank you so much, Ted.
Beautiful. All right. So share with them the best way they can reach out to you, how they can find out about your music, how they can purchase your music, get your merch, follow what you're doing. What's the best way, Harvey?
Sure. Well, you can always find me on Facebook. Everything's there. Or my website is just harveysummers.com. And there are links where you can find me on social media. So give me a shout. And the album's out on the 6th of May. So it should be everywhere then. And the single is out now.
Absolutely beautiful. Harvey, come back anytime. I
I'd love to.
really am honored to have you on the show. Absolutely stunning stuff. Beautiful. That whole thing was beautiful.
Lovely talking to you, Ted.
Great talking to you. Have a good evening in
Have a great
England or
day.
Scotland, wherever you are, and come back anytime. Y'all support our creatives, harveysummers.com, or you can find them on all the social media links that we provided for the show. Get behind our creatives. This is the kind of stuff that gets us through, that kind of music, especially.
For sure.
We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank